Hidden in the small town of Waynesburg lies a piece of history that many may not know about. Welcome to the Greene County Historical Society, where artifacts from the past live on in present time, such as old rooms, fabrics, articles of clothing, and stories. Stories about soldier homecomings after World War I, businesses closing, and general life during the early 1900s, and the Spanish flu, the last notable pandemic where deaths were on the rise and business activity was starting to fall.
When you look in newspapers from that time period, you do see an increase in obituaries and things like that. And businesses weren't shut down then like they are now, but you do see decreases in business activity. You know, you don't see as many people out and about and stuff like that. But also at that time, life was very, very different. If you needed something, you really couldn't do without it. You know, we didn't have the luxuries then that we do now. So in all fairness, life very much had to continue because it was survival.
Things such as basic medication and other small necessities were not an available luxury during the 1918 pandemic. If someone needed something, they did not have online shopping and delivery.
They didn't have masks like these. Generally, they would just wear a face scarf, or honestly, like you see a lot of people in Walmart, you know, pull something up over their shirt, if they did anything at all. It's kind of similar to now. Greene County specifically has not been an area that's been hit very hard with COVID. I think it's rural. You know, you don't have large concentrations of people anywhere.
To some people, we are living through a history book, giving us a glimpse into the life of those that lived through the 1918 pandemic.
It's different because you learn about these kind of things in history classes, and when you actually experience it, you get a better feel for what they experienced. The going to the grocery store, not being able to get certain items, was something that put almost like a shock into you that you would have never been able to fathom before it actually happened to you. So I think it's been kind of an eye-opener for what historically other people have experienced.
Yeah. Recently, we just discovered our original ledger that they started using in 1861 all the way up through the 1940s. It showed all of the emissions here. And when we found that, one of the first things I did actually was to kind of look, you know, through the 1917, 1918, 1919 timeframes to see if there was an increase in deaths. Surprisingly, there was not. Beginning in 1929, coinciding with the Great Depression, that's when we see a huge increase in deaths. So that was kind of one of the amusing little things that I thought looking through that ledger that surprised me that I didn't expect. You know, like we can look back and make criticisms at how things were done during the 1918 epidemic. What will the criticisms be in 100 years? What will they look at and say were the successes that we did? I think that's going to be interesting, and we'll start seeing that sort of mentality and information coming along a lot sooner than 100 years, you know, probably in the next 10 to 15. You know, now a lot of people are talking about 1918. It'll be interesting to see how people talk about this as kind of a stepping stone for what improvements we can make.
This is Erin Lang and Victoria Zacek, Channel 14 News.